My name is Ron Houben. I work with AER as a sales director, so I'm responsible for all commercial stuff going on at AER. I'm involved in every project at AER, marketing or development-wise, and been with AER since 1996 with a 10-year interlude. I was off for 10 years doing other jobs, and I'm back now since 14 months, I guess.
When did you first discover AER amps? Was it because you were a musician yourself, or?
Yeah, I played, but I discovered them working retail. I worked in a shop, guitar sales guy from 1993 to 1996 when I started my own company and working with AER. And I discovered the amps through the then representative of AER visited me in the shop wanting to sell me the AER amps. And I really, really loved them. But it was just before I quit that job and went to be an independent distributor. And the guy introducing AER to me wanted to stop his distribution company. So it was a no-brainer for me to approach the AER people and ask them if I could be the distributor for the Benelux countries. And that's what I did from 1996 until 2010. So that was quite near the beginning, because AER was founded in 92. So it's a long time, and at that time in 96, AER was very, very, very small. And the only acoustic amp in the market was Trace Acoustic. They no longer exist in that form. I think they're back now. So there was the right product at the right time with the right people, and then it took off. It took a few years, but then it really took off.
Why do you think so many professional musicians use AER amps?
Yeah, well, the AER, compared to all the other ones, I won't mention any names, but compared to all the other amps, the AER is built for stage use. The sound carries very well. It doesn't distort, but it carries further than any other amp, without being harsh or without being overly loud. A lot of amps you have to turn up and you can hear them, but the sound drops off at a certain point. AER carries through, and that's why a lot of people use AER. All of our components, all our amps are made in Germany. All our components are the top of their class to get to that price point. The preamp, vocal preamps, for instance, are very high quality. What's very important for live musicians is that the DI out is of a very high quality. If you have an AER amp, you just use it even as a monitor and take the DI out to the front of house guy, and you just tell him, please, everything flat, and just use the gain and the master, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of sound engineers, they used to amplifying electric bands, rock and roll bands, etc., etc. They might not be very versatile, because most bands are electric bands, and
yes.
Amplifying acoustic bands is a different subject. And with our DIs out, the high quality of that, it's just so easy to tell them, do it like this. And I've had many musicians playing very big stages where they don't need an AER because it's too big and they can afford to have high-end equipment from everywhere.
Yeah.
And I had them buy AER, say, okay, of course my sound engineer doesn't understand me. And if I do this, it works.
Yeah.
I know it works. And I know I have a good sound front of house as well.
Perfect.
So that's one of the reasons that professional musicians prefer AER.
Apart from amplifiers, what other sort of products do AER offer?
Yeah, we have the pocket tools. You can go online. I'm sure you'll have a link underneath. Pocket tools are 3 small tools. They're really tools. That's why they're called like this, to improve your sound. Either with an AER amp, or if you're traveling, if you're flying a lot, people like Lionel Loueke or Ulf Orkenius, jazz guitar players, they travel with a pocket tool. They have the colorizer, which is a very sophisticated preamp with our high-end DI out. It'll guarantee to get you a good sound on stage. Or we have the dual mix, which is our preamp, as in the amplifiers, with the same setup, the same coloration of sound to get to the most natural result. That's very high end. It's very high end. It's very expensive. Our stuff is all made in Germany. It's very expensive. Be aware of that. But there's a good reason for that.
But it's top quality.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Bottom line, that's it. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, and the third one that we have is the dual para EQ. So it's a parametric equalizer, 2 times, so 2 bands that you can select, and that's really for the people who know what they're doing. It's high end. It puts us in a different class from all of the other people, because it's hard to understand if you're not used to doing this. If you are used to parametric EQ, you'll be in heaven. It's really a good device.
They really are. Yeah.
And again, it's all made in our factory, because all the controls are meticulous. It's made in Germany, and I'm not German, so even for me, being with the company for so long, I'm Dutch. Even for me, it still astounds me how much effort they put, our production team puts into all the controls. Even from the small pocket tools to the most expensive acoustic cube that we still have in our program, all of them are checked and checked and checked and double checked. Into one amp, there are about 3 hours of only checking in production time. If I tell this to somebody who's in Asian manufacturing, he just laughs at me, because they don't do this. They make it and it goes out the door. Any of our amp that goes out the door is perfect.
3 hours in each test.
Yeah, only testing. So when we make the PCBs, the printed circuit boards, they're checked and tested. They need to be 100% before they go through. 99 is not enough, 100%. Then it's built into the chassis, checked again, on all functions, on physical rigidness, etc., etc. Then it's married. That's how we call the part where we build the chassis into the actual housing with the loudspeaker.
Oh, well.
Then it's sung through or played through, and only then. And in each part, it can go back to the station before, but only then, when all is well, it goes out the door. So that's a lot of time. That's what we pride ourselves on as well. When I came back after my 10-year hiatus, when I came back to AER 14 months ago, I knew some people from before. They were still with the company for more than 20 years. So I asked one of the guys in our service department, "Oh, what do you do? What do you have here?" "Yeah, that's an amp that's from 1998, that's from 2001. Everything was older than 10 years. That was the newest amp, was 10 years old. So reliability is a very big issue in our company. It needs to be good or we don't make it.
Very high quality control.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, it shows. You can.
Yeah.
It's immediately.
Yeah. That's why we are for professional musicians.
Yeah.
If you are on stage, or if I translate it to me, if I play on stage, I'm nervous. Because I don't practice enough. But I'm nervous. And the last thing I want to be nervous about is my gear. So I always bought the most expensive guitars that I could afford. I always bought the most expensive amplifier that I could afford. And because I wanted this to be no issue. Just making the music and worry about that. And that's what you get from AER.
Absolutely. Do you know approximately how many countries in the world you can buy an AER in?
Yeah, I think there are 30. So we're sold in Malaysia, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, the US, all over Europe, Philippines, I don't know, everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of countries.
And as you said, there's nobody else manufacturing parts or AERs, only in Germany, every single piece of the unit.
No. You know, the knobs. Obviously, we don't have a rubber factory that makes the knobs.
I see.
And we used to make our own cabinets in the old factory. And now we have somebody else make the cabinets to our specification. And that works perfectly. We never run out of cabinets. They work on time. They have the same quality level that we have. And the loudspeakers, of course, we don't have a loudspeaker factory. So you're always depending on suppliers. Yeah. Like Mercedes doesn't make their own headlights. They buy them from another factory, but to their specs. That's the same with our loudspeaker. It's Jensen Sika, Italian manufacturer. they make them to our specifications. You cannot buy them online.
Right.
And they are happy to work with us. And it's been since, I think, 1999 that we changed loudspeakers, every loudspeaker to the Sika factory. And they are happy to work with us and work with our specifications. Our development team knows what they're doing. If they see a subject that needs improving, they dive into it and they make sure that they can educate the one who's making it. It's very nerdy in our company.
It's very nerdy.
It's very nerdy. If you talk to the developers, it gets very nerdy. But I like this. I'm the chain between the nerdiness and the musician who's on stage. Yeah. I like to be the middleman in that.
Absolutely. Before we talk about that lovely brand new Compact 80 Pro, a lot of my viewers, of course, have seen this beautiful Compact 60 in red here on the bottom of that display beside you. When did they decide, or who decided to start making the AER in different colours? And you have lovely wood. Yeah, we have
three wooden versions of the Compact 60. We have the red in piano finish, piano high gloss finish. We have the same one in black. We also have the spatter finish like this one in black, and which is a standard color for us. We have that in green, grey, brown and white.
White, I think, yeah.
White, yeah.
Gorgeous.
I'm not sure when that started. This must have been 2008, 7, 8, something or that. Probably because one of our distributors asked for it.
Oh, okay.
We always try to, of course, we have our own ideas and we have our own thoughts about technically, definitely, but also how something needs to look. We try to have the optimum product for each market.
Yeah.
So the colored, the special finishes, as we call them, they are sold in very typically in the Scandinavian countries a lot better than in Germany.
Oh, that's interesting.
Germans like black, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
The wooden ones are sold in every country. Everybody likes them.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic. And that's the only one that my wife would allow me to have in the living room. Because she doesn't like this. It's for stage.
Yeah,
and it is. Because this is a very durable finish. It's water-based, so it's environmentally friendly. But it's very durable. But it looks like it's stage gear. And the wooden ones, they just look nice. But the finish is less durable than this one. If you're playing on stage like you are, get one of the black ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I would use the red one on stage, I think.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
That's
the
my
red
favorite
one.
too, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful colours. So, the Compact 80 Pro, new kit on the block.
Yeah.
Wonderful piece of kit. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
There was a demand for a 4-channel amp because people want to have their vocal mic plus 2 instruments because they switch guitars and plugged in all the time. And with the Compact 60, you either need to have a dual mix in between, our pocket tool dual mix, so you can merge 2 signals into one, or you have to buy our bigger Domino amp, which is fantastic, great amps, but they're big and sluggish and much more expensive because 2 speakers, even more features. They're fantastic amps, but not for this target group. So I see this more as an upgraded Compact 60 than a downgraded Domino.
Right.
So one of the demands was to have more channels than the 2 that the Compact 60 has. The other one was to have more power, because with smaller audiences, caused to COVID situation and at all, people want to have just one amp and cover a bigger room. So what we decided is to augment, to make a little bit the cabinet a little bit bigger, so you have more air flowing. The low end is much more prominent in the Compact 80. The Compact 60 is built to the max. All the components are used to their maximum capability. So the power amp is 60 watts and it's pushing out some very intelligent design if you don't need the power for the low end because you're playing on the high end, or you're playing flute instead of a baritone guitar. all the power goes to that section. So it's
Right.
always full power on that area that is needed.
Oh.
For the Compact 80, we took 2 of those power amps, put it in here. We could push this to 120 watts, but we don't. We want the amplifier to be comfortable at full power. If you turn it up, it's still easy. It's still resting. And that means it has a lot of air. You get a lot more dynamics in there. So we have a new speaker in here, bigger cabinet, more power, just to feel at ease, to work at a high volume with a lot of headroom and still be at ease. Of course, the Compact 60 has been in our program since the very beginning. There are more than 100,000 out there now. So that's our twin reverb, or that's our Telecaster, if I may refer to a different brand. It stays like it is. It is what it is. But of course, things progress. So we changed some things in the Compact 80 as well. We added the 48 volt phantom power instead of 24 switchable. We have a 9 volt phantom power both in the Compact 60 and here. Here it can be switched on or off. 9 volt phantom power can power your pickup system in your guitar. If you use our pickup, the AK-15, you don't need a battery. You can power it through the amp with a stereo jack cable.
That's right.
Perfect. Some pickup systems out there from other brands, you can shortcut the part where you connect the battery and you can power that system with our 9 volts as well.
Wow.
We'll do another video on that.
Yeah, okay.
We strive to be environmentally friendly as possible, as much as we can. So the finish is water-based. Obviously, we need to cut a tree to have a wooden cabinet. But batteries, that's really a stupid way to waste resources. Plus, a battery can get loose in your guitar, fly around in your guitar. So we think battery use is a waste of resources, really. It can be much more efficiently done. And batteries are always empty when you need a battery. They can come loose in your guitar depending on the system, so they fly around your guitar. I've had this. With the 9 volt phantom power, you don't have this. You never have this. But for some lightweight instruments, you don't want to have an extra battery in there. That's causing extra weight. I'm thinking about classical guitars in this case. So it has 4 channels, very good layout, instantly usable. You don't need to study any manual. You know what it is. And that's our philosophy, plug and play. Plug it in, turn it up, go. So it has 4 channels, 2 effect processors. So one effect unit for 2 channels and the other one for the other 2. Very clearly laid out. There's 4 effects in there. A short reverb, a longer reverb, a delay and a chorus effect. So you choose one of those and apply it to 2 channels. If you want to have more effects, because you have your favorized, what have you, Digitech, whatever brand you have, you can put it in the effect loop and have it appointed to the channel that you need it to. There's one master volume and that's it. So it's very easy to see. All of the entries are combination entries. You can go in with an XLR for your vocal mic or your instrument mic, or you can go in with a jack cable for your guitar, for your violin, for your piano even. That works.
Wonderful.
Works very well. On the back we have some features that are new to AER. Most notably the couple in. If we are playing together on a stage and you're over there and I'm over here and I can hear myself because I'm having my amp just beside you, but I cannot hear you. That's stupid because we're playing together. I can now take your signal from your DI out, get it into my couple in, have my volume there, and my amp functions as the monitor for your signal. Wonderful. If you have a Compact 80 as well, we can do this vice versa. But if you're playing with this one, I just get your signal. So,
what a great feature.
Yeah, it is. It is a very handy feature. It takes a lot of research from our side to get this working in the correct way, so you never have any interference or anything.
An independent volume on it as well, which is great.
Yeah. There's an auxiliary in, obviously, with a volume, tuner out, headphones out. Another feature, our headphones output is of the same high quality as our DI output that I just talked about. So every feature is meticulously calculated out to, okay, how can we get the best signal out of these components? And that's what our development team does. I'm very proud of those guys. As said,
top German technology, absolutely.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is. And they're not cutting corners. That also means that it takes a long time before a product is developed and ready to go on the market. But if you're on the market, it's there.
Yeah.
No recalls. No. Oh no, we made a mistake. We have to take it back. Whatever.
No, they're an amp for life.
Yeah.
That's just the fact.
The moment that I announced that I was back at AER, which is 14 months ago, obviously everybody has Facebook, etc. So I'm proud to announce that I'm back with AER, blah, blah, blah. I got numerous messages from people. Yeah, fantastic, congratulations on both parties, but you will not sell me one. Because I have my AER for 25 years, it's still going strong.
That's the problem. Oh dear.
I'm in sales. I like to sell more, but
But they last forever.
It is, and I'd rather have this. And that's not just German engineering and the German pride. It's also being conscious of the fact that we are using resources. If you have an amplifier that you can use for 25 years instead of throwing it out after 10, there's a difference. We like to have products for this long.
So AER are about to have a big anniversary, 30 years of brilliant air amps.
Yeah, next year we have the 30-year anniversary, and our development team is working like crazy to get new products out. I cannot talk too much about this, but NAMM Show 2022 June will be the date. Now you'll get a few new products before NAMM 2022. So, but NAMM 2022 will be killer.
Really looking forward to the new line. Thanks very, very much for being here, for the information today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being an AER player for so many years.
Indeed.
And it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot.